You know, Bill, there's one thing I've learned in all my years. Sometimes you gotta say, what the f***?
Hi there, I'm Brandon Sparks, and welcome to the 80's Emporium, your home for everything 80s. Before he was jumping off helicopters, sliding around in socks, and completing impossible missions, high schooler Thomas Maypother IV was an aspiring priest. But after starring in a school's production of Guys and Dolls, he decided to switch careers and pursue acting.
That's right.
And a few years later, one of the most famous actors of our generation, now going by the name Tom Cruise, was on his way to international stardom. And it all started in the 1980s. Tom Cruise made his film debut at age 19 as a minor character in the 1981 romantic drama Endless Love, appearing in only one scene.
Did you ever try to light a whole pile of wet newspapers? Jeez, it smokes like crazy.
Next up for Tom was 1981's Taps, which would become the first of his many military roles. Cruise plays a military school student who, along with some of his colleagues, decide to take over their academy to save it from closing. While Taps is seen as Cruise's first major role, it is also notable for being the film debut of another actor who would also become a popular movie star, two-time Oscar winner Sean Penn.
I know that, dude.
2 years later, Cruise co-starred in Francis Ford Coppola's highly successful film adaptation of The Outsiders. Among the impressive cast were Rob Lowe, Diane Lane, Ralph Macchio, Patrick Swayze, C. Thomas Howell, Matt Dillon, and Emilio Estevez, who was one of Tom Cruise's childhood friends. If you want to support our channel, the best way to do so is to head over to our online store at 80semporium.com and check out some of our original 80s merch that you won't find anywhere else. After a trio of tragedies, Tom landed a comedy, which was also his first film with top billing. Losin It follows a quartet of teens as they try to lose their virginity.
What about your money? Don't worry, I'll get the money.
Unfortunately, the only thing that was lost was millions of dollars, as the film bombed and was panned by critics. Even almost 40 years after its release, it still remains one of Cruise's worst reviewed films.
I've got a trig midterm tomorrow and I'm being chased by Guido, the killer pimp.
And now we come to Risky Business, largely regarded as Tom Cruise's breakout film. The scene featuring Cruise sliding around in his socks and underwear to old-time rock and roll has become an iconic film moment and has been parodied dozens of times in various mediums. What's more, the only direction that Tom Cruise got before the scene was simply to dance to rock music. Risky Business earned 10 times its budget and was the 8th most successful film of 1983. All the right moves started Cruise as a troubled high school football player opposite Leah Thompson of Back to the Future fame. In preparation for the roles, the two actors were secretly placed into high school classes as new students. But the plan backfired when Cruise was recognized immediately. However, this was unusual because as of filming, he had only appeared in one major film, Taps. Today, director Ridley Scott is known for such classic films as Alien, Blade Runner, Thelma and Louise, and Gladiator. But in 1985, the celebrated sci-fi director teamed up with Cruise for a lesser-known film called Legend. The fantasy adventure movie featured unicorns, goblins, fairies, and Tim Curry in terrifying demon makeup. Always eager to do his own stunt work, Tom did all his own diving and swimming in the film. Apparently, there are at least 4 cuts of Legend that exist, each of which is significantly different. In fact, there are even 2 different soundtracks. If you saw the movie in European theaters, you would have heard songs by Jerry Goldsmith and John Bettis. If you saw it in American theaters, it would have been songs from Tangerine Dream. Cruise is upset with the theatrical version of the film, much preferring Ridley Scott's final director's cut. Need a last-minute gift for someone special? If so, you can now find our very own Stu Pollard on Cameo, where he is raising money for truancy.org. He'll talk filmmaking advice, 80s nostalgia, bourbon recommendations, you name it.
I'm gonna send you up against the best. You two characters are going to Top Gun.
And not to be outdone by his brother Ridley, Tony Scott cast Cruise in his high-flying action drama, Top Gun. Aiming to be as authentic as possible, Scott worked closely with the U.S. Navy. The aircraft, equipment, uniforms, and even the station are all real, which came with the price tag of
That's classified.
It's what?
I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
$1.8 million. Cameras were mounted on the planes in order to get realistic imagery. What wasn't real were the sound effects. In order to create the intensity of jet engines, sound designers used wild animal roars and layered on some effects. The soundtrack featured 2 hit songs by Kenny Loggins, as well as Take My Breath Away by Berlin, which reached #1 on the US Billboard Hot 100, and also won both the Golden Globe and Academy Award for Best Original Song. The Top Gun anthem by composer Harold Faltermeyer won him a Grammy. The album is 9 times certified platinum and the 9th best-selling soundtrack of all time. Top Gun had a huge effect on pop culture, causing sales of both bomber jackets and Ray-Ban aviator sunglasses to surge. Even the US Navy noticed a 500% increase with regards to interest in enlistment. The film was inducted into the National Film Registry in 2015 and is still regarded as a quintessential moment for both the 1980s and Tom Cruise. That same year, Cruise starred opposite Paul Newman in Martin Scorsese's The Color of Money, a sequel to the 1961 film The Hustler. 25 years later, Newman reprised his role of pool shark Eddie Felson, and this time, he won the Academy Award for Best Actor, the only one of his career. Cruise, always eager to pick up new skills on his films, did all but one of his own trick shots in the movie. And now, for what is considered by many as the worst film of Tom's career.
You think so?
The rom-com Cocktail, which as of 2022 holds a 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. The movie features Cruise as an Army veteran who works as a bartender in Jamaica. Despite the poor ratings, the film was actually a box office success.
I see America drinking the fabulous cocktails I make. America's getting stinking on something I stir or shake.
Cocktail soundtrack was also a major hit, reaching #2 on the US Billboard charts. Among other songs, it brought us the famous, or for some infamous, Beach Boys single, Kokomo. Son of a bitch! That same year, Cruise starred in the acclaimed drama Rain Man, which was a critical and commercial success. It was the highest grossing movie of the year and also dominated the Oscars with wins for Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Picture, and Best Leading Actor for Dustin Hoffman. With roles in The Rain Man and the poorly rated Cocktail, Cruise became the first and only actor to appear in both an Academy Award Best Picture winner and a Razzie Award Worst Picture winner in the same year. In his final film of the 1980s, Tom Cruise starred in the Oliver Stone-directed biopic Born on the 4th of July. Cast against his usual Hollywood fare, Cruise's dramatic turn as Vietnam vet turned anti-war activist Ron Kovic earned him the first Oscar nomination of his career. He would go on to earn 2 more Oscar nominations for Jerry Maguire and Magnolia, but as of 2022, he has yet to win the coveted gold statue.
Win or lose, in school, sports, in life, as long as you do your best.
In less than 10 years, Cruise went from being an unknown supporting actor to a critically acclaimed leading man to a pop culture icon. He has continued to find success in action films, comedies, sci-fi flicks, and more. Cruise has also notably appeared as super spy Ethan Hunt in 6 Mission Impossible films over 22 years, with plans to release at least 2 more installments.
You gotta be kidding.
Tom Cruise has become a household name, and for decades has consistently been ranked among Hollywood's best bankable stars, along with Tom Hanks, Will Smith, and Brad Pitt. In fact, some argue that he is one of the true last remaining movie stars. Now I want to hear from you. What's your favorite 80s Tom Cruise film? What's his best? What's his worst? Are you a fan of Cocktail? Comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more 80s content. Thanks for watching.
Are you a good pilot?
I can hold my own.
Great. Then I won't have to worry about you making your living as a singer.
I'm wanted, dead or alive.